I want you to call me Poppy. That's like telling you I love it when you call me Big Papa, only in Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
We got Eric Rocha in the house. You got my main man, Lee Sayat. You're asking me, Joey, who the fuck is Eric Rocha? We're going to find out right now, and I'm going to tell you the reasons why I have him on the podcast. What's happening, Lee? You good? You're solid?
I'm doing great, yeah.
Beautiful. It's been a great week so far. Eric, what's happening, brother?
Not much, man. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much. This is fucking awesome.
We're going to tell the story slowly. We're going to get into this. I want to introduce you to the world. I saw you singing for the choir, and I thought you were a fucking savage. I'm like, this kid's a fucking savage. Nobody's seen this fucking kid. And when I did my Netflix thing up at the store, I had you come up that Sunday night, and you leveled them with Lee. And there's a lot of topics, you know. I'm old, Eric. I'm getting old, and I have a lot on my mind, and I forget things, and I digest things a lot differently than most people. When Lee says something to me, I'll come back with a rebuttal to him 2 weeks later, and he'll go like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I'll go, "That thing you said that night, I totally agree with you. I'm the one that fucked up." I'm one of those people that always will come to you and you'll go, "What the fuck? That was 2 weeks ago. Why'd you ask me about that now?" Because I processed it at 4 a.m. one night in a dream. And I woke up and said, why would fucking Eric say something like this, man? How long have you been doing comedy for?
5 years. 5, yeah. In April it was 5.
Where'd you start?
I did, let me see, in New York, I worked for Caroline's literally like 2 days. And then I couldn't fucking do it. I still have a check for $60 that I never fucking picked up. Never.
Were you a doorman?
I was answering the phones. Yep, that was how I got to meet Mooney. That was how I was answering phones, and that his ticket sales would fucking, it was impossible to keep up with. So you would just answer the phone, you'd be like, "Thank you for calling Caroline's," and then you, "Please hold." And what would happen was, you had to screen the calls, so you would get a shit ton of people calling for Paul Mooney, but then every once in a while that guy's wife would fucking sneak through, and you had to catch it or else you'd put it through, and you were fucked.
No, whoa, let's catch back to now. Where are you originally from? Where'd you grow up?
Colorado.
What part of Colorado?
It's northeast, the Plains area, like fucking farm town. You remember Greeley?
Greeley,
It's like an hour from that.
So an hour north of Greeley.
Yep.
That's fucking crazy. Greeley smells so bad. Get closer to the mic. Get closer to the mic like it's Tuesday night. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Greeley. Greeley was my second comedy gig.
Really?
Second comedy gig at the longest running one-nighter in history. One of the top 5 longest lasting one-nighters in history.
Fuck.
Because I heard it was still running up to a couple of years ago. And it was there 10 years before I started.
Jesus.
So that's 30-something years. It was a one-nighter booked by a guy named Bill Bauer on Thursday nights who ran a motorcycle shop.
Every Thursday?
Every Thursday.
Wow.
And the ceiling was real low. So if you jumped, you'd bang your head on the ceiling. The place was great. It was like, they had like pictures of like singers behind you. The ugliest artist, like the worst artist in the world, was a picture of Jimi Hendrix. There was a picture of Janis Joplin. And there was a picture of Bob Marley behind you when you did comedy.
How were the audiences there?
Fucking great. It's a college town. On top of that, it's where the Broncos practice that do spring training. Or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, we used to go every year. My mom was a huge fucking Broncos fan. My uncles hated them, but mom loved them. We'd go every summer.
So now you're in Greeley, Colorado, let's assume. How old were you till you stayed in Colorado?
I moved to New York when I was 18.
What made you want to move to New York out of college? Now, you graduated in high school. Was comedy on the radar at 18?
No, to be honest. I got into a conservatory in New York because I wanted to do theater.
Okay.
I was a theater nerd. So I went there and I loved it. I loved the theater and just living in New York. I lived there for like 4 years and just pounding the pavement, auditions and shit like that. But then comedy was always something in my life. Like, I was raised by my grandpa, and I found his Richard Pryor tapes, and when I found those, it was like something forbidden. I fucking loved it. That was the introduction into comedy.
Was it tapes, albums, CDs?
It was Here and Now. I remember that one. It was Here and Now, and it was Greatest Hits.
Like an 8-track?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fucking... And I remember, like, you'd have to sneak to
Yes,
listen
you
to
had
it.
to sneak it.
Yeah, so that and like Eddie Murphy's Delirious.
Do you remember the language the first time you heard that language? How your head felt? The first time you heard, not from your parents, because you heard it from your parents, but not used the way a stand-up, especially Richard Pryor, twisted around. Have you watched comedy on CNN, that series?
No, I started, but I didn't get to finish.
The other night they had just about dirty comedy as I was walking in the door, and it was brilliant. It was Red Fox doing all his albums. That's why I want to go back to albums, because that's I grew up on albums. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look at this, and the hand comes out over here. Look at this. It's like Cousin It. Then I take the Lysol and I blast it this way, just little side angles to make it go up.
I thought you said you could hold it for an hour. What happened to holding it?
Nah, I was thinking about
suddenly,
it. I was thinking about it, but what the fuck? This we're all here. We're all gentlemen.
A weak colon now. All of a sudden.
All right, so you listened. Who else did you listen to as a young?
I listened to Red Fox. Everybody he had, I would listen to. So you got to wash your ass. That one.
Oh my god.
Fucking. Oh god. Eddie Murphy Delirious was another one because I didn't even listen to much James Brown, but when I heard him do James Brown, it was the fact that a grown man could do that with his voice, and I was like, how the fuck is he making that sound? That hey. That's a lyric. That's James Brown need a lyric. I said, ooh, that's good. That and like the barbecue, like just the pictures that guy could fucking paint. And so it worked backwards though, because like I said, my dad was a piece of shit. So it was my grandpa that raised me, and he let me just listen to whatever the fuck I wanted. And I was like, I want to listen to that, and it was Richard Pryor. So I'd put it. It was actually a cassette tape. That's what I remember. One of them was Greatest Hits because it was an 8-track. The other one was Here and Now. I think that was the cassette tape. And he'd do Mudbone.
Yeah.
And that was when, like, we were talking about one time outside Fourth Wall, because you were talking to Lee about don't you go down there fucking with them Jews without no money.
Oh my god, that's the funniest.
And I remember that because in a weird way that brought me back to when I was a kid. And I was like, there was only one person who was like in their 30s when I was a kid. And I heard them say that, don't you go down there fucking with them Jews without no money. And I knew right then, I was like, oh fuck. Like, to me, that was just how you judge people that you liked on what they knew. How much prior shit do they know? Do they know like everybody knows one nigga that drinks always gets fucked up. He always wants to fight. You remember that one?
Right.
He never wins a fight, but he always wants to fight. And just the way that he would do that was just the picture was fucking there.
We're going in like fucking Marines, you understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.